Greetings YouTube, my name is Francesco Bologna. Welcome back to another beat making episode. Now today is a very special episode because let's just say this episode I'm going to be making a remix out of a project that is very near and dear to my heart. Why is it near and dear? Because this is actually the track that got me started into music in the first place. And I already tried 4 attempts to try to remix the project, and I've had no success with those 4 attempts before. I think it was like Carl Wolf with Africa. I think he tried 3 attempts with Africa, and then Culture Club came in and helped him finish the project off. I can't remember, but basically it's one of those kinds of stories. So the track was made by a guy from Capcom. Originally he was in Konami doing dance music for Dance Dance Revolution. Now he's doing cross beats, and I'll be honest, I love his music. I mean, just to dance to that music and also to listen to the music, he gives some kind of flavor to Dance Dance Revolution that I know a lot of other artists don't hear, because it's a particular kind of sound that he has, which is it gave him an identity in Dance Dance Revolution, and not just Dance Dance Revolution, Beatmania as well. So basically what I did for this track in particular, the song is called B4U. And yes, originally it was made by Naoki Maeda. This is a remix, but the thing that I wanted to do, especially for this track, I wanted to make this more universal. So what I mean by that is I've already heard 2 versions of the B4U song. I've heard the original, in which the lyrics go jam, 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 DDR. And then there's the B4U mix by DJ Yoshitaka, and he did 222 2DX, as in Beatmania 2DX for the lyrics. What I wanted to do was something just non-DDR and non-Beatmania 2DX. So what I did was I altered the lyrics by going jump, 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 B4 all, instead of DDR or 2DX. At least, make the song enjoyable and make it relate to the title, because that's one thing I've always wanted to do. Have a track that was related to the title, as in B for you, jump, 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 B for all. You get the idea. So for this track, I used 1 audio track and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 MIDI tracks. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with my MIDI controller yesterday. So here is how it's going to go down. I'm going to be playing track by track by track as I played with all my other beats, and you're going to hear exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go into the track itself. I've got Sonar opened right here, and we're going into the big track here. So I'm gonna solo this track. This is the audio track that I had to work with, and basically what I did was I brought it into Magix. Now normally you have 2 kinds of softwares. You have Audacity and Magix. Between the 2, to be honest, I would say Magix is better, because if there's one thing that Magix does that Audacity I've been having a lot of trouble with, it's removing vocals. And Magix definitely does a better job with that. You remove the vocals, you remove the drums altogether. And I mean, normally with Audacity, it's like, you got to do some menu diving, go into effects, and you have to go through a drop-down menu. With Magix, it's just rack effects, 1 button, and you're good to go. So basically, this is the track. I chose B4U Glorious Style because B4U Glorious Style was always my favorite B4U track, regardless of all the other tracks I've heard. Don't get me wrong, Naoki, I heard all of them and I really love them, but the Glorious Style was the very first track I've heard of B4U. So take a listen. What I did here, like I said, was I sent B4U Glorious Style to a karaoke version, and I pretty much sampled it, and this is what it sounds like. So what I did in the Magic's music maker, I added the drums, because the problem is if you get rid of vocals, you have to re-import the drums manually. So I pretty much took a looperman.com loop, sent it to Magic's, and I pretty much quantized it to 32 beats per measure. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, and now I'm gonna start playing around with the actual VSTs. So basically what I did was I pretty much followed the entire track of B4U, and I did quantize, but I'm gonna tell you all right now, this was by far the most difficult quantizing I had to do, because normally I would work with 4 beats, 18 beats, or 16 beats per measure. In this case, it was 32 beats. So I had to carefully position all the tracks carefully as I listened to the actual audio track. So, take this MIDI track for example. I'm going to open it up, I'm going to solo it, and this is Omnisphere. Omnisphere is by far one of my favorite VSTs for pads, synths, you name it. I mean, this thing has everything, and I love it. So basically, I chose Comp Virus. I will be honest with you guys, I am a huge fan of the Access Virus, and Omnisphere is one of the reasons why I love it. I mean, the fact that Omnisphere has Wave ROM from Access Virus, I mean, it's mind-blowing, and I think it was ever since 2012 I've been loving Access Virus, and unfortunately I could never afford it, so I got Omnisphere instead, since it does have virus sounds, as, you know, all the other kinds of synthesizers that you would expect. So this is Comp Virus from Omnisphere, and this is what the track sounds like. So basically what I did was I used Comp Virus as a pad, like a bass pad. And like Armin van Buuren always said, you gotta have the kick and the bass sounding perfect together. In this case, the bass was on point actually, and all I did was just lower it to -6, and now the drums have more room than the bass, so everything sounds perfect together basically. Next, I am going to go into Trance Drive, which is my next VST. And as I said last time when I did Sun Is Out and I'm Feeling Okay, basically you got two kinds of VSTs. You got the Nexus and Trance Drive. You got the Nexus, which is commercial, and Trance Drive itself, which is open source. So, as I said in the past, I love the free stuff, and Trance Drive, I just had to have it. I chose a PD Xavier as one of the patches for Trance Drive. I had to do minor adjusting because I wanted to get the track as a good kind of pad-like sound, and it really wasn't that hard to program. I just had to edit maybe 1 or 2 knobs and stuff. And this is what the PD Xavier from Trance Drive sounds like. basically, I'm in new territory right now. Normally, I would use Omnisphere for pads. In this case, I used Transdrive. And to be honest, I love Transdrive for its pads, but mostly for its synths. Because let's not forget, Transdrive is more made for trance music. Alright, next track, I'm gonna go back to my good friend Omnisphere, and this time I'm going to go into a new patch that I just found. It's not really new, I mean, I just found it recently, and actually, the funny thing is, I actually did use this patch before, the Boys Choir Oz, and I used it in Sun Is Out, I'm Feeling Okay. But this time I played it on lower octave and I played it polyphonically compared to Sun Is Out, I'm Feeling Okay. So this is what the Boys Choir Aw sounds like in the song B4U. Now, normally, I would never play a choir polyphonically, but in this case, I had no other choice because I needed a breakdown with the choir. Because whenever you hear the breakdown during the track, I mean, I just needed to have a choir to make the song more complete. And Omnisphere definitely delivered when it came to the choir sounds that I needed. Next, I'm gonna go back a few measures. I'm gonna solo this, and I'm gonna introduce to you guys a new VST that I just picked up. It's called Super 7, and yes, as you can see, it is based off the Roland JP8000, and it's a very basic VST. I actually got it for free. I think it was on the Sonic State website, sonicstate.com. And I definitely recommend you guys to check it out if you want to look into, you know, VSTs, synthesizers, music production, and all that crazy jazz and stuff. So what I did here, Super 7, I chose LD Energized as one of the sounds. And what you're about to hear is exactly what this VST sounds like. So here we go. So during the verse, this is the bass that's supposed to be playing. So when every verse plays, no matter which one it is, whether it be the first, second, or third, that bass always plays. And right now, at the moment, Super 7 is the best synth to give me this kind of bass, because I've tried all the other VSTs. I mean, Omnisphere, I can't really go through all the sounds, but at least Super 7 was able to give me what I needed. Now I'm gonna go into my next track, and this is a track that's actually very familiar to you guys if you've seen the song Beatmaking of We Are One People, Cakewalk TTS 1. And this time, I did not do any sound effects for any instrument. What I chose instead this time was an orchestra hit. Now, orchestra hit is one of those, you hit the key, you hear the drums and the orchestra playing at the same time. So, for the reframe, whenever I sing jump, 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 B for all, the orchestra plays. And like I said before in my previous video, I love tracks where you have the artist that sings or raps first and then you hear the instruments after. So I chose orchestra hit. I'm gonna solo this, and this is what it sounds like. So yeah, whenever I say jump, 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 B for all, the orchestra always plays after. and it just gives it a lot of bite to the drums, which is something I really need when making a dance track like that. Alright, I'm gonna go out of Cakewalk TTS1, and I'm gonna use another VST that I know a lot of people know from the We Are One People video, and it's Sample Tank. Now, as I said before, IKL Multimedia, they are very good at making these kinds of VSTs. So I did pick something different this time. Last time I picked drums. This time I picked an electric guitar. Because one thing I know Naoki loves, I know he loves playing electric guitar, especially in the 1998 music video featuring B4U, the Japanese music group. And they did a song called 1998 Burst Style with B4U, and I think they called it B4U 1998 style. I can't really remember what it was. But basically, I chose electric guitar. I cranked up some reverb into this one, and this is what it sounds like. So basically, for the final breakdown, which is normally at the end of the track, I put in the electric guitar. Now, normally, I would never play electric guitar because all my tracks that I've done in the past, they never actually needed an electric guitar. But in this case, it was definitely worth putting because it gave a lot of ambience to something, you know, rock and roll for something like a dance track like this. And finally, I'm gonna get out of this solo, and I'm gonna introduce to you all to a brand new VST. This is Synth 1. Now, for Synth 1, I chose an initial patch, and I changed it into a square wave. Now, I've pretty much decreased all the synth tracks for the whole thing, and basically what I did here was I basically recreated my favorite melody in the track, and let me just get it into position. And for those of you wondering, Synth 1 is actually based on the Nord Lead, which is a very popular hardware synth. I love it, but I can't afford it, so I got Synth 1, which is the closest thing to virtual analog VST synths. So I took this sound, the initialized, I removed all the effects and turned it into a square wave, and this is what it sounds like. So after all of this, I pretty much rendered the track, dumped it into Magix, and then that's when all the crazy things happened, because apparently I encountered a bug, and what's weird about this bug is that it was basically this track that was actually muted when I listened to it on my iPhone. So because of this, I had to go back into Cakewalk Music Creator 6, and I had to do a compressor mix down. So basically I had to change the format of the track itself. So I had to change it into a WAV file, and I had to actually re-record the track using Media Encoder from Microsoft. I'll be honest, it did work, and it did save the track. And I'll be using that as the main demo for the actual song of B4U. So, ladies and gentlemen, I guess that's pretty much it. And just to close before I actually leave, I just want to show you one quick taste, and then I'll be uploading the song and the track later. So, take a quick listen. Naoki Maeda, it was a great honor to remix a track like this. It really is. I mean, basically for this track, all I did was combine Glorious Style with the Acolyte mix, which is by far my two favorite B4U tracks that I've ever heard in Dance Dance Revolution. And I'm hoping to hear more B4U tracks from Naoki, but I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Especially since Naoki left Konami and went to Capcom. And I'm still gonna listen to his music, don't get me wrong. I still love his music, regardless whether it's Konami or Capcom, you name it. I mean, like I said, Naoki was the guy that got me started into music, and if it hadn't been for his sound, I wouldn't even be doing the stuff that I would be doing today. So, thank you all very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. And the song itself, B4U, featuring Naoki, of course, is going to be coming soon to YouTube. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.